Welcome, Pewter Report readers and listeners, to another edition, a live edition of the Pewter Report podcast, Energized by Celsius. I am John Ledyard. Along with me today at the Mill, the South Tampa location, is the one and only Scott Reynolds. Scott, how you doing out here?
I'm doing great. We got Scotty Miller in the house.
We do.
Bucs Super Bowl champion.
Yes.
Fastest guy in the team.
Fastest guy in the league, right?
Yeah.
I think faster than Tyreek Hill.
That's right. Absolutely. It is.
Rumor has it.
And here's the thing. We're coming to you live from the Mill. This is in South Tampa, 2500 West Azeel Street. And I tell you what, when you look at the food, the atmosphere, this is the place to be. And you can check out the Mill, 2500 West Azeel Street, Tampa, Florida. Check them out online, themillrestaurants.com. Tuesdays through Friday, you can see the hours 4 to 9. Saturdays and Sundays, 10 a.m. to 9. And then the best brunch in Tampa, that's what they like to tell us here at the Mill, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And we are now joined by Ted Dorsey, executive chef
Thank you for having me.
So what type of food, what type of atmosphere can Buck fans or any patron from the Tampa Bay area enjoy here at the Mill? What are your specialties?
Our food is it's really kind of my classical French training with my southern from the South roots, if you will. Our decor, we let our artist Esteban Torra kind of really run wild with this location after he did such an amazing job in our flagship in downtown St. Petersburg. And he really transformed this space into, like a living work of art. I mean, there's art everywhere. I mean, even down to the bathrooms, you don't see anywhere else. So it's a very unique space. It's a lot of fun.
It is. We enjoyed some of the most amazing fried green tomatoes.
Oh, those things are killer.
Yeah, I mean, they really are. And I'm enjoying one of your old fashions. These are $5 for happy hour.
I'm about ready for one. I didn't realize they were that cheap.
$5 old fashions? Are you kidding me? Yeah, I'm all about it. So you also have another location, not just here in South Tampa, but also across the bridge as well.
We do. That location is 200 Central Avenue. That store, we've been there for 7 years, coming up on in July. And this store, we're about to be 3 years. So we're very fortunate, and we're just trying to survive the last year and a half. And the turmoil that we've all been through and come out on the other side and, winners like the Bucs.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'll tell you what, Ted, we appreciate you having us out here for our exclusive partner event, the Pewter Report exclusive partner event. This is a great place, not just to come for date night or for that Sunday brunch, but also if your business is looking to host an event, you've got a great outdoor patio where our guests are enjoying right now. And it's fantastic weather down here in South Tampa. So you want to make sure to check out the Mill down here at 2500 West Azeel Street. Ted, we appreciate you coming by.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Awesome stuff from the Mill. It's been great being down here, and it's great, Scott, to be joined by another Scott, Scotty, Scotty Miller, Bucs wide receiver and Super Bowl champion. Scotty, rumor has it that you recently got married. What a whirlwind of a year for you, man.
Yeah, it's well, first of all, thanks for having me. But yeah, it's been crazy. It's been a great year to say the least. I got married twice to the same woman, and then obviously Super Bowl champs. So it's been a great year. It's been a fun year.
Absolutely. I mean, we have so much that we could kind of take you through and talk about on this show. But obviously, one of the things I wanted to ask you about was going back to the beginning, the regular season.
Hold on. Let's stay on this wedding here, right?
Oh, you want to?
Because you're going to get the big ring. You've already got the big ring. Then you're going to get the Super Bowl ring after that, right? But I mean, let's talk about this. All right, you had a phenomenal wedding, married the lovely Jenna, and recently, right? We're talking April 10th, right?
Yeah, I think it was last weekend.
Yeah.
So very recently, so with COVID, we were planning to get married 2 years ago. But that got canceled, so we got married legally, and then we were able to finally have the big party with all of our friends, our family, and just got to celebrate the best day of our lives. So it was amazing. We got married up in New Jersey. Like you said, married the love of my life, Jenna. There we go. Wow. Look how excited I am.
Yeah, right.
But it was amazing. Well,
and when you look at the 10th, is there any special significance to getting married on April 10th?
Of course, had to. I'm number 10, as you guys know. So I had to do it on the 10th.
Excellent.
Why number 10? What's the significance there?
Honestly, but my wife tells me to answer this a certain way. She used to be a gymnast, and she used to
perfect score.
Yeah, the perfect score, exactly. Right. So there you go. But I mean, when I got drafted, they called me, gave me a couple options, and I knew Adam Humphries was departing, and he was number 10. I thought it was a good fit to kind of, hopefully live up to what he did in Tampa. And I just think it's a cool number.
Yeah, that's great. Now there's this whole the numbers system is changing right now in the NFL. And if you heard today, it got passed down, and already a couple of your teammates, Leonard Fournette, was tweeting out, and Lombardi Lenny was saying number 7's coming back. And so, any thought for that for you, or are you good with 10?
Yeah, Mike Edwards might have something to say about 7. So I think he was 7 in college. So let them argue that one out. But yeah, I mean, I'll probably like to stick with 10. But I was number 1 in high school. I love number 1, but I'm sure somebody else will grab that. I think I'm going to be sticking with number 10.
That's great. Love to hear it.
You had really kind of a breakout year. Your rookie season, you got eased into the lineup, and I covered you during your rookie season, and you went through a lot of issues with your hamstring, and it started in training camp, and then every time you seemed to gain some momentum, that hamstring would flare up again. And you told me right when the season ended, the 2019 season ended, you said, I'm going to get the hamstrings issue resolved. It's not going to bother me in 2020. And it really didn't. What did you do to overcome that with your off-season training to put the hamstring issues behind you?
Yeah, I actually remember that conversation we had. Yeah. That was the biggest thing for me coming out of that first year, because I missed like 4 to 5 games, I think it was. And like you said, whenever I could get going, I would just get hurt. I got hurt in the preseason as well, so that hurt me with my development. But really, I attribute a lot to when Tom came. Alex Guerrero is one of his main business partners and coach and everything. TB12. Exactly. Yeah. He's the creator of TB12. So they helped me so much, along with Behard and Sean over there. They got their place over by the facility. But those guys, I would see them like 3 to 4 times a week, and those guys helped me tremendously. Just keep my body right, keep me flexible, loose, pliable, as they would say.
That's right.
And honestly, it just helped so much. So much of my health is attributed to them. I didn't miss a single game this year, and there was a lot of them this year with the playoffs, which is a good thing. But yeah, so much goes out to them, and just me, taking that next step and being a professional, being a pro, and just trying to take care of my body.
Is there something to it, like in the NFL? I mean, you get to that point, and is it more taxing on the body than college, like where you have to basically think after your rookie season, how am I going to take care of my body in a totally new way?
Yeah, I think also you're getting a little bit older, so I think that I'm only 23, so not that old. But yeah, I think also in college, a lot of us are like just the best naturally. So in practice, you don't have to quite use as much energy. But in the pros in the NFL, when you got an NFL defensive back pressing you as a receiver, you got to be on top of your game, trying as hard as you can every single rep. Right. So you're just exerting that much energy and that much effort. So you just got to be ready to Scotty, stay healthy.
You're talking about energy, and I see you've got a Celsius shirt on. Celsius, the title sponsor of the Pewter Report podcast, also in the corner with Scotty Miller here. We're drinking some Celsius tonight. Got the watermelon courtesy of my wife, Ashley. She's the one who likes watermelon. But we want you to stay tuned. We're going to have more with Scotty Miller after this quick message from our friends at Celsius, and a cool new promo where you can win a Scotty Miller autographed football on the other side of this. All right, so we've got let me get the Celsius banners queued up there. All right, we are energized by Celsius as always. And Scotty, what's your favorite flavor? I see you're rocking the orange. Is that your favorite flavor?
Yeah, I love orange juice too. So the orange Celsius drink just goes hand in hand with that. It's great. I love the watermelon one like you have too. They got a ton of good flavors. The kiwi is good as well. So it really just keeps me fueled before my workouts and stuff like that. So I'd say any one of those 3 are my go-tos.
Well, we've got a special promotion for our audience out there, Pewter Report podcast audience. A new Celsius giveaway. You might have remembered our first promo we did with Celsius a couple of months ago. Well, we've got a new one, and it's open up to even more winners. So here's how you're going to participate. There'll be a total of 10 winners, each receiving a free month's supply of Celsius, the flavor of your choice. So once you know your favorite flavor, go ahead and let us know. And they'll send you, if you win, they'll send you a month's supply of that. And the grand prize winner, we're going to have one. Grand prize winner is going to get an autographed football from Scotty Miller, as well as that cool month's supply of Celsius. Here's what you got to do. You want to click on this link below. Let me pull it up here so we get the right link. Enter to win, Celsius.com/pewter. That's the link you're going to go to. We'll have that. We'll have on our social media promotions, and we'll have that all over there for the next 10 days through May 1st. All you have to do is follow Pewter Report, Scotty Miller, and Celsius on social media. Take screenshots of that, and you're going to upload those when you go to Celsius.com/pewter, along with your name and an email address. And then they're going to randomly pick a winner to get that Scotty Miller football. And then 9 other people are going to get that awesome prize of a free month's worth of Celsius. So the grand prize winner going to get your football and a free month's supply of Celsius. Enter to win at Celsius.com/pewter.
Scotty, I got to ask you, this question has been in my mind. I've been covering the Bucs for over a year now, but you're the first Bucs player I've actually met, by the way, because of COVID restrictions. Yeah. Wow. I wasn't able to actually be down here and meet anybody. You're in no open locker room. Right. So you're the first Bucs player I've actually met, which is cool because I've been wanting to ask you this question. We get to the mid-season point of the regular season, and you were leading the team in receiving yards, a team with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Obviously, they were banged up some, but Tom Brady's your quarterback. I wonder for you, like, and just being honest, like, what is going through your mind at that point when you see you're leading this team in receiving yards, you see the kind of year you're having. A guy like Antonio Brown is coming in, obviously the resume that he has and he's bringing to the table. What's going through your mind at that point in time?
Yeah. First of all, I knew what I was capable of always when I came into the league. And then after that first season, I was really confident in my abilities and what I was going to be able to do in that offense. So I was expecting to have a good year. I thought I had a very good camp. I stayed healthy, fortunate, like we talked about before. But after the Saints game, the first game, I had a pretty good game. They had like 70 yards or something that first game. So I thought that was a good start to the year. And then, like you said, like I think it was like 6 games in, something like that. I was leading the team. I was very fortunate to get a lot of opportunities. The coaches believed in me, gave me a lot of chances. Every time I was open, even not when I was open, Tom put the ball on me, made it easy for me. So it was awesome. But like you said, Chris and Mike were banged up. So that also gave me additional opportunities. But I just try to be there, and I try to make the opportunity, make the play whenever my number's called. I can't control, if I'm going to be in the game, if I'm going to get thrown the ball when I'm in the game. But my mindset is whenever I get the opportunity, I got to come through.
Speaking of Tom Brady, we had very limited access as media to the Buccaneers this offseason. There were no OTAs. There was no mini camps. So we're rolling in there the very first day of training camp. And I mean, Scotty, it's not more than 5 minutes into the first training camp practice. You are blowing past 2 of your teammates, catching what seemed to be like a 70 to 80-yard bomb from Brady. Now, I know you guys worked together at Berkeley Prep, getting some of that timing down. But to do it at one Buccaneer place, right, to catch that bomb, to get past those defenders, and I think you were like letting out like woohoo, something like that, right? I mean, could you sense that was the start of something special with you and Brady? Because you guys really clicked from, or probably dating back to Berkeley, but certainly from the first training camp practice.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember that play you were talking about. It was just like a deep post and got past the corner and the safety, and Tom just laid it out there for me. So, like you said, it goes back to Berkeley, those days when Tom first called us up and had us show up. At first, it was just me, CG, and Cam, and we were just grinding. We right there saw Tom's work ethic every single day, and that made us all work even harder. It's amazing to see how hard he works. At the age he is, he's still outworking everybody. It's just a testament to everything he's done and who he is. But right then, it was a little bit more special to catch that ball in practice in front of the coaches, in front of everybody in the building, then at Berkeley in front of nobody, also going against the defense. So I think it just kind of showed what we could do, and I think we carried that right into the season, game one, and then going on from there.
You talked about that game one, right? 5 catches, 73 yards down there in New Orleans. How much was of a confidence boost was that to start your season, catching so many balls from Brady, being way more involved in the offense in week 1 than you were in any game last year.
Huge. It was a huge confidence boost. I knew I could do it. I knew the type of player I could be. But to see it to come to fruition on a Sunday and that type of game too is a big game.
Yeah.
I kind of that really in my head knew I could play at that level and be a key contributor and a big time player. So it was big for me.
I remember that long pass against Janoris Jenkins late in that Saints game, I think it was, where you got by him and lasted. Tom laid it out there for you, and you kind of caught it. It was a little bit of an extension away from your body, and you caught it. And I remember I was watching the game obviously at home because we weren't. I was in Pennsylvania still. That I hadn't moved down here yet, and I was like, man, that guy, he might be like a factor this season, just because of the speed, but. When you go to, I don't know if you even know this or if you're even aware of this, if you look online and you see what other analysts say, people who don't cover the Bucs or maybe don't watch every game, you get put in the Julian Edelman and Wes Welker molds. Yeah. And I'm sure it has something to do with your size, obviously. And so people are putting you in that slot receiver mold only, kind of like they think that that's your position, but you're actually an outside receiver for the Bucs more than anything. Can you talk about the differences between those roles and how that misconception has followed you a little bit into the NFL?
Yeah, no, like you said, it's been crazy because anyone that follows the Bucs or watches what we do or knows me as a player knows I hardly play in the slot at all. In college, I played a little bit in the slot, but it was still not like a grimy. I was still like a vertical threat type of guy. But they're very different positions. Chris Godwin actually plays the slot for us, as you guys know, but most people probably envision him as an outside receiver because he's bigger, like a taller guy.
But you got to block. You got to do the dirty work in there.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of times he'll go across the formation into the hole.
Exactly.
Like
that's a big part of our offense. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of times we'll motion Chris down, and I'm probably not the best guy for that role, as you guys can probably look at me and see. I'll try my best, but I don't think they want a 170-pound guy going to block Cam Jordan or whoever it may be. So they're very different positions. I enjoy being on the outside, getting one-on-one matchups with DBs. I think that's where I thrive, and I'm able to get down the field and make big plays. So I think, like you said, a lot of the size, what I look like, people compare me to Wes Welker, Julian Edelman, Cole Beasley, whoever it may be, but I like to think I'm more of a Deshaun Jackson type of player. I have a lot of work to do. He's unbelievable and done everything you could possibly do in the league, but that's a guy I look up to and think my game can be similar to like.
Right. Scotty, you got a touchdown last year. It was a costly one. Your first touchdown was against Detroit. I think you blew a hammy last year, right?
Yep.
Okay. And that ended your season on a high note, but it ended it nonetheless.
Yeah.
Right. So your second touchdown, boy, it couldn't have come in a better game at a better time. You guys were down 17 points early to the Chargers at home. And you come through with 3 catches, 83 yards. You averaged 27.6 yards per catch in that game, targeted 5 times. But that touchdown ended up being critical because you guys dug yourself a hole and had to come back. What was it about that game that you learned with Tom at the helm? Because now this is his 4th game under center, no preseason, but to enable you guys to come back. And I think he had 5 touchdowns that game. He was the NFC Offensive Player of the Week.
Yeah, I think that was the first time in the whole year, I believe, that you really saw our offense start rolling. Bad start, like you said, down 17 or whatever it was. But then we all knew Tom could come back from anything after we saw that 28-3 game against the Falcons. But to finally do it with us and our offense, to see us get going, clicking. We had, I think Juice had a big touchdown right before mine.
Yeah.
When he was healthy.
Touchdown for him.
Yes, exactly.
His Achilles.
That's right.
Thereafter.
Yeah, but and then I had a big catch, right? The very play before my touchdown catch. So,
were you huffing and puffing a little bit?
I was very tired. Yeah, and I also get really excited and just run around. Everyone probably saw the Packer. I don't even know what I was doing, just running in circles in the end zone. I get so excited. I love the game, so much passion for it. So whenever I make a play, I just go crazy. But that was definitely that Charger game was a big game to show everyone and show ourselves that we could be a very productive offense.
Your next touchdown was just as big right before halftime of the Raiders game out there in Las Vegas. That was actually your first 100-yard game. 6 catches, 109 yards, averaged 18 yards per catch. Had a big touchdown. Very similar to what would happen in that NFC Championship game, right? I mean, similar type of situation. Were those the same play calls, or were they different between the Raiders touchdown where you were kind of sliding into the back of the end zone right before the half, and then the Packers touchdown? How similar or different were those play calls?
Very similar. Same exact play call, really. The formation was different. The Raider game, I was in the slot, and then they motioned Jay Watt was outside of me. They motioned him in, and then he ran a crosser just like Chris did in the Packer game.
Right.
But then I just ran like a spray go, and then in the Packer game we were in a bunch, so I just started outside and ran the spray go. But very similar. All it is they call a play action go route, and it's just the two outside guy run goes, the inside guy runs a crosser. So it's pretty simple, but very similar situations, 2-minute situations. So big time plays for the team when you can score at the end of a half, big momentum changer. So
it's kind of funny because the Raiders game, it's like, all right, maybe I don't know how, but maybe they didn't know about Scotty Miller. Like maybe they're just sleeping on him a little before the half. But like the Packers game, I mean, you were talking the Packers game at that point in the season, like, were you stunned at the way they played you in that game?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know exactly what they were doing. We thought they were going to come out in like a prevent type of situation, but as you guys saw, Kevin King was like 10 yards off me, just like a slow backpedal. So as soon as we saw that, I was hoping Tom saw it. Of course he did. Right when I got by him, I looked up, the ball was coming down right in my lap. So
when did you know? Did you know when you saw the defensive alignment? I mean, did you know before the snap that if Tom sees you, it's a touchdown?
Yeah, well, so it's interesting because I really thought we were going to throw a help. Tom in the huddle just called go. It was like, just be ready to catch someone in the back of the end zone. So we're in a bunch of linemen. I'm like yelling at Chris. I'm like, why now? I'm like, because I'm thinking we're just going to run to the back corner.
Yeah. Right.
I'm going to look for a tip or something.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go up and get it. But then we saw their defense. As soon as I looked up, I saw one corner and then one high safety.
Yeah.
So I'm like, is this going to be an opportunity to just have a normal go ball? And that's what it was. And good thing we're all on the same page and it worked out.
How much is that mental part a big part of playing receiver? Scott and I especially, we're big into the draft, and so we evaluate players every year based on what they do on tape and things. But one of the parts that's hidden for us a lot of time is what's the mental process going to be like for these players coming from college, like to recognize coverages, to see things like you identified with the safety and the corners technique. Is that a huge adjustment for you coming from college to the NFL, or was that part natural?
Huge adjustment for me. I went to Bowling Green, which is a smaller school, which may not matter, but our offense was pretty simple.
Yeah.
We ran like an air raid type of offense, so I didn't have to read much at all. I kind of just found open space, got open, did my thing. Never had to worry about what the safeties were doing. So when I came to the NFL and BA's and Byron's offense, it was a huge change for me. So that was a big process for me my rookie year, that I had to learn how to read safeties and corners and cover two corners and stuff like that. So it's a big part of it that guys that come into the league that I've seen, young guys already, it takes time to adjust and to learn before they can really start showing how good they are and how athletic they are.
Right. Obviously, you make a lot of big plays on paper and like a lot of big plays in the games, and they're explosive touchdowns, long plays for the team. But the Vikings touchdown, Scott, you and I have talked about this. Yes. Like the Vikings touchdown seemed like, I mean, you guys come out in that game and they were struggling a little bit in the red zone, Minnesota was, but you guys, you're coming out of the bye and you're coming off those couple losses, and it's like, man, you really want to get going. It just wasn't clicking those first couple drives. Then all of a sudden, boom, like out of nowhere.
48-yard
that's
touchdown.
right. Like it just seemed like, did something change for the team after that?
Yeah, I think so. After that was the first game after the bye week, right?
Yeah.
After that, I don't know if we lost
You
after
didn't
that. Yeah. So that was I mean, I don't know if that play sparked it, but I think we got going in that game a little bit. And then I think the Falcon game might have been the next one or something, but we got going. Then we really got going. I think in the Viking game, I think I only played like 5 plays in that game.
You did, yes.
You did, yeah.
It was ridiculous,
big one to have 5 plays. But.
Yeah, we were kind of giving Bruce the business about that too, right? Because that's a pretty impactful play. It's like maybe play Scotty Miller a little bit more,
Yeah, we were joking around considerably after that game, or maybe it was the halftime of that game. I think it was. We were like, man, whenever he's on the field, I mean, he's playing a couple of plays and it makes a huge difference. You think even pulling the defense? Yeah,
I feel like whenever I'm out there, I can at least threaten the defense deep and make them back up. And if they don't, I feel like I can have a big play at any moment. But I trust the coaches in their decision making. We had obviously so many good receivers, but AB, Mike, and Chris. So it's difficult to find time. Plus Tyler Johnson, as you guys saw, is a very talented player. So and then a lot of times me and him were just standing on the sidelines. So it's crazy. But that's why I say whenever you get the opportunity, you got to make the play.
Yeah, you were talking about Tyler Johnson and not having a preseason not only robbed us of seeing this guy develop, because we listen, when we get to watch practice, it's the first 30 minutes where you guys are doing calisthenics,
right?
You know, you're doing like indies and warm ups.
Get to see much,
yeah. We don't get to see any of the good stuff. But talk about how Tyler Johnson developed behind the scenes. And I know that when Antonio Brown came with his credentials, you know, it did cut into your playing time. The domino effect has cut into his playing time. Yeah. Still made some big time catches for you in a couple of key games down the stretch. But what did you see from Tyler Johnson behind the scenes, and how beneficial is OTAs, minicamp, a preseason going to be for this guy?
It's going to be huge. He got so much better. Not to say he was bad at all when he first came in, but just that learning curve that I talked about earlier, and just learning how we run our routes a specific way. To just see him come in and work hard every single day, which is what we do. We get to learn from Mike and Chris, which are two of the hardest working and best receivers in the league. So we're very fortunate. But just to see him come and work every day, and he just continually got better throughout the year, and then finally he started getting opportunities at the end of the year. I think he had like 2 or 3 touchdowns during the year. Had the huge play against the Saints. So we all knew it was a matter of time. When he gets in there, we're all very confident that he can beat anybody in front of him. Very shifty guy. So he's a great player, and I think this year he'll probably get some more opportunities and make some big plays for us.
It's so interesting because we look at the team, and every week you're kind of coming in and you're like you said, there's so many talented guys, right? So like, who's the guy this week? Who's going to be produced? And that Saints game in the playoffs obviously was a huge game for you guys, right? I mean, it's like that team. There was like this barrier, it seemed like, between passing that team and where that you had to do that to get to the Super Bowl. Was almost like fitting that had to happen, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. When BA was there, I think we've played them like 4 times leading up to that game, and we hadn't won a single game. Right. And I don't think the Bucs had much success before that either against them. They had a very good defense always.
You
guys know. But that was so we knew that was gonna be a very tough game for us, but we prepared well. Tom got us ready like he always does. We had a great game plan, and we executed. Our defense came to play like they always do and helped us out tremendously.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to date myself here because you're 23 years old. I've covered the Bucs. This is my 26th year covering the Bucs. Okay.
Wow.
So I was there for the first Super Bowl. Now, the thing is, I've told our viewers and listeners for some time, the psychological factor of beating the Eagles in 2002, winning the Super Bowl was a foregone conclusion after that, because just like the Saints had done to you, the Eagles were the bully for the Buccaneers during the Tony Dungy and John Gruden years prior to the Super Bowl, and had beaten the Bucs, I think, 4 or 5 straight times. And after you guys beat the Saints, I knew you were going to beat the Packers. I knew you were going to beat the Chiefs because you'd beaten those teams before. You'd beaten the Packers before, certainly, but just from a sheer momentum standpoint, a physical standpoint for sure, but the emotional, the mental, the psychological standpoint, I think you guys really had the edge once you beat the bully in their playground in New Orleans. Am I wrong? Was that the big psychological shift?
No, you're absolutely right. I remember the feeling in the locker room after that game.
You can't be stopped.
Yes, exactly. And that we felt better after that win than probably the Packer game. I mean, the Super Bowl was tough to beat, but I mean, that was such a big win for us mentally, like you said, and just to get over that hump. That team is like our big. That was the hardest team for us because their defense was so stout and so tough at every level. So when we got past them, we knew we had a great chance, like you said, and the momentum was with us.
One of the interesting things was the way that it happened. Like the offense, it was a fine game. They got some things going, but it wasn't like a dominant game from the offense per usual.
No.
Late in the game, you need that drive. Tyler Johnson with the back shoulder catch. You between the corner and the safety in a play that I thought you were going to get killed.
Yeah.
Just talking about that play, like, did you know, like, that that safety screaming and you have to get down as you catch it?
Yeah. That was a great play call by Byron. I was fortunate I got to get in for that play. I didn't play too much of that game either, but I motioned over to the right side. It was 3rd and 5, so everyone would expect a little out route. So Janoris Jenkins, we knew too, likes to jump routes. So I just gave him a little out move and then took it up high, and Tom put a great ball because I saw that safety cover. That's why if you see, I dropped down while I was catching it because I was like,
I think it's called a smart football play, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I come down with that if he hits me clean. So it was definitely a big one for us, like you said, Tyler right before. That's just two big time plays for guys that were standing on the sideline that whole game.
Right.
So.
That's exactly right. That was so crazy about it, and that was one of the moments that I think Scott and I kind of were like, man, this team, like even the depth, like even when the top guys aren't, going off for a huge game or something, and Mike Evans isn't taking over like he can, they still find ways to get done with the depth of the team throughout the playoffs, wasn't that a theme, even with guys like Aaron Stinney stepping up and other guys?
He did tremendous.
You look at Cam Brate in the Washington game in the first round. 4 catches, 80 yards.
I think he led the team receiving that game. Yeah, and then he had a touchdown against the Packers as well. Yeah, so we have so many good players, so much depth at every single position, offense, defense, everything. So we know that if someone goes down, if someone else has to come in, that they're going to step up. Yeah, because that's what we do in practice every day. We see guys make plays, and we know we got ballers everywhere.
It's a little bit of a blessing and a curse, right? I mean, you've got so many talented guys that have the Pro Bowl credentials ahead of you, right? So when they're on the field, they're going to get prioritized a bit. But at the same time, they're also going to draw those coverages that is going to create some favorable matchups for you too. So it's really a two-edged sword. You can have a 1-catch 8-yard game or a 4-catch 80-yard game the next week with a touchdown or two.
Yeah, no, it's awesome to get to play behind those guys. Mike always, whoever the best corner is on the other team is guarding Mike. So I ain't got to worry about that, which is nice at all times. And then Chris, they got to put safety and a linebacker and nickel on him.
Right.
So, I mean, if I'm out there, I'm always getting one-on-one matchups, which makes it way easier for me. So I'm just happy I get to play alongside of those guys and learn from them.
Now, you haven't played in a preseason game yet, have you?
I did. I played in one. I played in two, the Browns
after
and the
Cowboys.
Right? Okay. But I wasn't. Even then, my hamstrings were still pretty bad, so I played too much and didn't do much.
So, I mean, you're just scratching the surface, really. I mean, we saw you go from 200 yards and 13 catches, 200 yards, 1 touchdown to a quantum leap this year, 33 catches, 501 yards, 3 touchdowns. Your average even creeped up 14 yards to 15.2. I mean, you're an ascending player. An off season, a mini camp, a healthy preseason, that's only going to further your game and give you more experience to produce even better numbers.
Yeah, I think with time and experience, I get more confident. And like I said, I'm so confident in my abilities. I think I can do really good things in this league. So I'm just excited to continue to get better each and every year and work hard every offseason. That's what it's about. And just try and pick out a couple things every year to try and get better at. And I think that'll really help me in my career.
Yeah, we talked about this offseason or this season playing with so many talented guys. Well, the crazy part is that they're almost all back. That's like the crazy. So you're at home. You've got all these free agents coming. And you're not even at the facility. You're not like around these guys, Jason Light or Mike Greenberg necessarily, who are like handling a lot of these things.
You're getting married.
I was going to say, you're getting married. You're playing a wedding. But all at the same time, like a good chunk of your team is like technically about to be available in free agency.
Yeah.
Did you spend any time like thinking through like, man, what if we don't have this guy? What if we don't have this guy? Or what's going to happen with these guys? And like how glued to your phone and like those situations are you in terms of communicating with those guys?
Yeah, no, a lot. Yeah, especially the guys I'm like Chris. Was very interested to see what's going to happen to him. Because that was up in the air.
Yeah.
But everybody. So I think all of us, we wanted everyone to come back because we had such a good team, obviously. So I follow all the Adam Schefter, everybody, all the different NFL accounts out there. So as soon as anything happens, I get the notification on my phone. It was just great. Every time I got the chime that someone was coming, just super excited, knowing that we're gonna have a great chance at winning it again next year.
Right. I caught a little bit of flack for this. We had your teammate tight end Cam Brate on the podcast about a week or so ago, and I asked a negative question. I'm going to ask it to you too, right? Because we know what happened. But what if you had lost the Super Bowl? I mean, was that in your mind at all? Because the thing is it's not just the Super Bowl. It's a home game. Mm-hmm. It's in your turf, your territory.
Yeah.
Did that ever creep into your mind? Did you guys ever talk about it? Because that's a little devastating to get that far, and maybe not win it, but doing it on your own turf. There might be some ghosts haunting you if that happens. And thankfully it didn't. I didn't think it was going to, but I mean, was that ever a thought or talked about at all?
No, I don't think you can let that thought creep in your head. I don't think you can. You certainly can't talk about it just because the mindset is winning.
Yeah,
you can't. At least me and most of the guys on the team.
Tom Brady was texting you, believe.
Tom Brady was texting us about every day, a couple times a day, watching film, always sending us little clips all the time. We would have extra meetings with him every day. He would pull up clips of the DBs. We would watch every single guy. So we knew everyone to a T, every single DB they had. So we were just so locked in that week, those 2 weeks, just so focused. So that thought never, we knew we went into the game knowing that we were going to win. And of course we could have lost, but anything happened. But in our mind, we were going to win.
At the same time, how much of being on that surface for you, that's your home field, how much of an advantage was that?
I think it's a big advantage for sure. You get to play. We definitely had more fans than they did.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
And then just you're so comfortable. You're in your own locker room that you're there 10 times a year, whatever it is. You're staying at a hotel. You're staying in the area that you don't have to get on a plane. So
Right.
it was a big advantage. It was still a little different, just like all the different decorations and how the stadium was. They took us in a different way through the tunnel and stuff like that. So a little different, but at the end of the day, it was our stadium. So I'd say it was an advantage for us.
Didn't Cam say he didn't even know which locker room he was going to be when he showed up for the stadium?
That's what I'm saying. Like usually we drive to the game ourselves. They took us on a bus. We were at a different hotel, but one we're familiar with because it's in the area. You get on the bus, they drive you there, and we're like, all the walls painted differently. So I'm like, where are we going? Is this USF's locker room or where? And then you walk in, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this. This is where we're always at. So.
Right. That's funny. Yeah. It's one of those things that as we kind of track it from the media side, we get to those certain points. And I remember Scott's covered the Bucs for so much longer. I remember him saying to me after the Saints game, he's like, that's it. They're winning the Super Bowl, and that was the game that for him was like that mental, it was like once you get team clears that, then good things are coming. Yeah. But Kansas City represented to us, it may have been a format, we thought you guys were winning all the way, but Kansas City represented a formidable challenge.
Oh yeah.
And in that Bucs Super Bowl video that's out there, in some of the clips that you see from NFL films, as Pat Mahomes is doing some of the things he's doing in the game, you guys on the sideline, especially the receivers, are going crazy. You're like, man, this guy's unbelievable. And I'm sure it helped that you were up pretty big at that point in time, so you could actually kind of appreciate that.
Yeah, like just the fan watching.
Right, he's a unique player, though, isn't he?
Oh my goodness, he's unbelievable. He's tremendous. I've never seen something like that. I don't think most people have, especially some of those throws he's making in that game, lying on the ground, chucking balls, and hitting dudes in the face.
Yeah,
how is he doing that? So we knew it was going to be a tough challenge playing him. He's one of probably the best up and coming player in the league. But we'll still take Tom on our side. He's getting older, but he still shows up and competes and has everyone else ready. So we're very thrilled that we got Tom on our side.
And now there's this wide receiver 3 spot. I don't know if you've heard, that's kind of like up in the air. You've obviously got Chris and Mike. And now it's got you and Tyler Johnson are there. And right now there's not Antonio Brown's not on the roster. And so, obviously there's other guys there too, but is that in your head as you're thinking about next season? You're like, man, that's a role I want to take advantage of. I want to be a full-time guy out there on the field as 3 wide receiver sets.
Absolutely. I mean, I want to play as much as I can. Yeah. I think I can help the team. So I want to be out there as much as I can to be able to make plays for the team. But with that being said, Tyler's a great player. I'm sure if we don't have AB, we'll bring somebody in or something, and there'll be more competition. But that's I love to compete. We'll all go out there and compete in camp, and whoever's the best guy, the coaches have out there. And also, we're all good at different things. So you can call it a wide receiver 3, but me and Tyler are good at different things. Me and Chris even. So the coaches will do a great job of putting guys out there that they want for specific roles. So it'll be good.
Of competition, you and I had a either phone or text conversation about this time last year. Actually, it was probably back in February, about you wanting to really get more involved in special teams. Maybe see some time at punt returner, kick returner. You did a little bit of that in college. Obviously, with COVID wrecking the whole offseason, you didn't get the opportunities really to go in there and compete at a truncated training camp. There's no preseason. There have been guys that like Jaden Mickens that had done it and been a little bit more accomplished. But is that something that you want to get more involved in? Would you want to get involved in either punt or kick return or both?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, it just depends on who's on the roster too. Jadon was a great for us. I don't think he dropped a single punt all year, so he did a phenomenal job for us. Kenyon Barner was also with us, I think the second half of the season or something like that. So he also is a great return man in the league. So it depends who you got on the roster, but I love any opportunity I have to make a play, like we've been talking about. So I would be down. I would love to do either job, if the team needed me, and I'm always back there every day catching punts. So I always try and stay ready if I ever need to go back there. So
do you prefer punts rather than kickoff returns?
I would say this. I think the punts are a harder job. It's harder to catch a punt. Catch a punt's not easy,
right?
In an NFL game, but once you do catch it, you got a lot more space to make moves. Yeah. Kick return, you got like 11 guys coming down full speed. It's a little harder to make a play.
All at the same time, yeah, right.
But yeah, so there's pros and cons to both. But anytime you get the ball, it's an opportunity to make a big play. So both would be fun to do.
Now, you in a practice did get to catch, what was it? Was it 6 or 7 balls at once that you had?
Yeah, I think it was 7. I think.
Seven.
I'm not sure.
I think it was 7. I've covered this. I covered the Steelers for years before, and they did the same thing every practice. Everybody would line up, try to get it. I've never seen anybody even come close to 7. Yeah. How did you don't even have that much like surface area to catch?
That was crazy. I think the most I had previously done was like 4, maybe 5, maybe. But like me and Jadon Mickens were having a competition after a camp practice, I think it was, or something. Yeah. And
you guys are getting after it.
Yeah, he actually had caught his 7th one, like slipped out. But he did it. After he did, I was like, oh, I got to beat him. Right. That competitive nature. But I don't know. I had like 2 balls in between my legs. Like both my arms are full. Yeah. I think the only way I could have got another was like shoving them on my shirt. But that was pretty cool. That was a fun day.
Yeah. One of the things that stands out to me about you, Scotty, is whenever we get to talk to you after games, one of the first things you always do is before you answer a question is you give a shout out to Jesus and you talk about your faith a little bit and how much you want to give glory to God in what you're doing on the field. Can you just talk? I know that's very meaningful to you. Can you just talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, that is. Yeah. Thank you for asking. I like to give glory to God. If without him, I wouldn't be here. And I believe that no one would be here. So I'm just very thankful for every opportunity I get on this earth. And I don't thank God for giving me touchdowns and all that. I just thank him for being here, being my Lord and Savior, dying on the cross for my sins. And I know that through him, that through the blood on the cross that Jesus shed, that we can all get to heaven through that if we just believe in that. So I like to give all glory to God. Anyone that looks up to me, I want them to know that I wouldn't be where I'm at without my faith in God. So just very thankful for and blessed for everything I've gotten in life, and I never want to forget that Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior.
Right. Yeah. Very great to have a thankful and grateful perspective. Lots of Bucs fans are thankful and grateful for you, Scotty.
Well, and here's why, right? Because again, I've covered this team for 26 years now. The play in Buccaneer history is Rondé Barber's 92-yard pick 6 against the Eagles in the NFC championship game right before the Super Bowl.
Right.
You had a very similar splash play in the NFC championship game, right? It's this one right here we're talking about. That catch right before halftime that gave you guys a nice, comfortable lead. On behalf of Pewter Report and our friends at Playbook Products, we've got you a wedding gift, my friend.
We got you this little.
Oh, wow. That's unbelievable.
It's actually, for people who are watching you, it's actually the play where they made it in wall art from Playbook Products, who has unbelievable coasters and mugs and all kinds of stuff you can check out at playbookproducts.com. But they actually made this for you, and they wanted us to present it to you as one of our sponsors for the podcast the show. Yeah,
thank you so much. That's amazing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's exactly everything on there is exactly how it went down. What I was talking about earlier, there's Chris running across the middle and me and Mike just running goes. That's right. Awesome.
I was actually going to grab it when you were describing the play.
Yeah, you mean like this? You showed out on the chalkboard. That's great.
It's awesome. It's amazing detail, and they've got like the score up there, and the Scotty before the half. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Exactly right. So they make some great products. Obviously, a Playbook Products, as you guys know, we talk about all the time. But they wanted us to present this with you.
Yeah, shout out to them. That's amazing. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Nice little wedding present.
Playbookproducts.com. You can go to the website. I was just talking about Rondé Barber's pick 6. They got that mug right there. You can get mugs, coasters, wall art, the pick 6 to seal it, or Scotty before the half at playbookproducts.com. The great thing about Playbook Products, Scotty, is you just got married. If you want to send some thank yous to your groomsmen or something, get them some of your play on the coaster.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'm sure I'd love that.
Yeah. Wall art, right? For Father's Day, which is coming up. So
yeah, absolutely.
Playbook Products is a tremendous place to get all of your awesome sports and Bucs plays, the biggest plays for a lot of teams, including the Lightning. They got a Stanley Cup Lightning play as well.
Yeah, and right now you can get 10% off of Playbook Products by using the promo code Scotty, SCOTTY. They got a promo code going for Scotty Miller, so you can use that promo code, get some Playbook Products, and get some presents coming up for people. That's a great opportunity to get some of those as well. So this has been great, man. Being able to talk with you and get your perspective on what was an incredible season, me as somebody new to the area, to see what it did to galvanize the community and to give them something to be excited about. I know you're kind of coming in and new to the area a little bit too, but was that meaningful for you going through the boat parade and being able to see that?
Yes, absolutely. And that boat parade, by the way, was wild. It was. I never want to see a parade on the street again after that. That we all had so much fun.
Well,
they
did a great job. There was a little bit of a mishap too. I mean, we saw Cam Brate have some tremendous hands. He actually caught the Lombardi, but there was a fumble with Chris Godwin's phone, Scotty?
Yeah, well, I heard that Cam came on and said, I think it was to you guys, that if he had dropped the trophy, that he would have tossed me in the.
That's
the
right. Yes,
that was pretty nice of him. But as far as the phone goes, yeah, somehow I caught the blame for that one. I don't know if anyone's quite too sure exactly what happened. It was a long day on the boat.
The details.
Yeah, exactly. But hey, Verizon, there was a new phone waiting at Chris's door the next day.
There you go. That's customer service. Yeah,
that's right. So it was a great day. They did a great job putting it on. We had so much fun. I was on the boat with Gronk, so how can you not have fun? I mean, who knows what he was doing half the time, but it was
probably
good.
Best you can't remember that.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, Scotty, we really appreciate you coming out here to the mill tonight and being a part of the Pewter Report podcast and joining our good friends Celsius too. It's been fun having you. We're looking forward to actually being out at One Buccaneer Place, hopefully sooner rather than later. I know you guys opted out of the off season, but really we're talking about film study and all those Zoom calls. You guys got kind of ingratiated into that process last year, but are you guys still itching to get out there this summer later on and get out there after you had some rest? I mean, because let's face it, I even wrote a column. If there's anybody that needs some time off, it's these guys. If anybody deserves to skip the OTAs, it's these guys. As Warren Sapp told me, the Buccaneers in 2003, after they had the Super Bowl title, they were a tired team. So you guys need some rest.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a long season going. I'm younger, so I went from going playing 12 games in college.
Yeah,
I think we played 20 this year, so it's like double. It's like playing 2 seasons back to back. So it's definitely great to get some time off, get to rest. But we will be back at it. I know Tom has had a little knee thing going on, so as soon as he gets healthy, I'm sure he'll get everyone together, and we'll be back at it at Berkeley or somewhere else, or maybe we'll get everyone back at the facility. We'll see. So
excellent. Well, Scotty Miller, thanks for joining us. We're going to plug the mill one more time here. Thank you very much for coming out.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys. That was fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you for being here. It's great.
Buck fans, come on down to the mill in South Tampa, 2500 West Azeel Street. You can check them out online. They've got tremendous food here. We've already had some grub, John, right before.
Oh, yes.
We came on with Scotty. You can find their menus at themillrestaurants.com, Tuesday through Friday, 4 to 9 p.m., Saturdays and Sundays, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., and then Sunday brunch, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's the best brunch in town, John.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's been wonderful to be here. I did get a little bit of the food before we got on the air, but I was setting everything up too. So I'm not going to lie, I'd like a little bit more of the food probably at some point.
We're going to do that.
Everything was deadly. It's really good.
Exactly. We have Briar Greaves here too. I don't know if I think Briar's out there mingling with some of our guests and enjoying some of the food.
Yeah.
But the thing with Briar Greaves insurance, you want to check him out, of course, on briargreaves.com. Briar and his son, Sam, are not just Pewter Report partners with us. They're also my insurance agent, also Mark Cook as well. I know you've got to call into Briar. Matter of fact, you can go out there and talk to Briar. Yeah. I don't think you brought your policy with you tonight, John, but the cool thing,
that's all my wife. She handles all that stuff, man.
But the cool thing about Briar Greaves is they handle everything from homeowners insurance to commercial insurance, automobile insurance, boaters insurance. And so if you have any type of insurance needs, make sure you give Briar Greaves a call. Check out their website, briargreavesinsurance.com. And we want to thank Briar and Sam for their business. And make sure that, listen, all it takes is just sending your policy. I've got mine in a PDF. I literally sent an email to Briar. He reviewed the policy, found out that my coverage was a little wrong. He made it right and gave me the best rates. So briargreavesinsurance.com.
Yeah, absolutely. They're great stuff. Mark's always raving about them. I know if he were on them right now, he'd be raving about how great their stuff is. So definitely give them a call. It's a great show. I mean, great to hear. I loved hearing Scotty's insight on some of the plays. You know me, I'm the football nerd, right? Yeah. Like I loved hearing the insight on the plays. Here's what he was thinking. He's running the spray go and what he's looking at the cornerbacks alignment.
One of the things, John, is like you look at that Raiders touchdown right before half. It looks so similar to what we saw in that Packers game. And Scotty's like, it's pretty much the exact same route. We just had a different formation called and the motion came over and you saw it in the playbook products, John. It's Scotty Miller for the touchdown right before the half. That's a fantastic gift. So we want to appreciate the Mill for having us out, for our good friends at Celsius, as always, for sponsoring the Pewter Report podcast. John, we're going to be back on tomorrow at a normal time, 4 o'clock. We got wide receiver preview, tight end preview.
Yep.
As Scotty talked about, they're probably going to add another receiver to the mix, and why not?
Could, for sure.
This team is loaded, and they're looking for more weapons through the draft. They found a couple good ones last year.
Yeah.
Tristan Wirfs, Antoine Winfield Jr.
Johnson.
I can't wait to see who Jason Light in that front office has got dialed up.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun for sure. We'll keep previewing these positions as we get closer to the draft. Move to the defensive side of the ball early next week. And then don't forget, live draft shows from Pewter Report, as there are every year for all 3 days of the draft. We're going to be live. We're going to be bringing the content, breaking down the picks. We are the place. We watch the players. We study the players. We text about the tape every day to be prepared for this draft show. So we're going to be able to give you takes on the draft, but especially what the Bucs are doing, what the Bucs are thinking as they get closer to being on the clock at number 32. So very, very, very exciting week coming up at pewterreport.com.
No doubt. For John Ledyard, for Scotty Miller, and myself here at Pewter Report, live from the mill. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow on the next edition of the Pewter Report podcast.
Out.
Yeah. He played better with the football. A little better, yeah.